There was a big beehive in this box in someone's backyard, and it was my job to give the bees a new home. So I opened the box to find an amazing hive that was packed full of honey. I knew that it would take me all day to move these bees out of the box, so before I began, I enjoyed a bit of honey straight from the hive. Then I started to remove each piece of comb. These bees had spent several years building this hive and filling it with everything they needed to survive. So I worked carefully to preserve all of the bees' hard work. But this hive was so big that after I was done removing the comb from the top of the box, there was still a lot more waiting for me in this stack of tires. And since the new hive was already packed full, I saved all of this honey in a bucket for the bees. After I had removed most of the hive from the box and the tires, it was time to start scooping up the bees and looking for the queen. I just kept scooping handful after handful of bees into the new hive, and after a lot of scooping and searching, I found the queen on the outside of the box. So I put her in a clip and I put her into the new hive. Then I gave the bees a bunch of smoke so that they would move out of the box and into the new hive. And after the colony settled into the new hive with their queen, I took them home, and it was another great day of saving the bees.
The biggest question I get asked is, how do I not get stung when I hold bees like this? Believe it or not, there's actually a trick to it, and I'm going to tell you all about it in this video. The secret to not getting stung is knowing when it's appropriate to pick a bee up. For example, you may see bees walking around on the floor like this towards the end of the day, or perhaps when it's raining, or you'll find them on your window ledge early in the morning or late at night. The point is, the bees are usually on their own, and it's not usually when the sun is at its height. This is an indication that the bee is tired. They have 2 stomachs and their fuel tank is empty. They can't get back to the hive without your help. So in this situation, it would be very unlikely for a bee to sting you if you were to pick it up, because it just doesn't have the energy. Obviously, nothing's impossible, so whenever you're handling bees, obviously be cautious, but you are much less likely to be stung. On the flip side, I would never in a million years go and try and pick up a bee anywhere near my beehives. Because if a bee were to sting you, that sting will set off a pheromone to get the other bees in the hive to come and attack you. So run.
Get set, go! Come on! Come on!
I woke up one morning and my truck was covered with more bees than usual, so I ran outside in my pajamas to see what was going on. A swarm of bees that I caught the night before was leaving their hive and swarming again. I tried to offer their new hive back to them, but they weren't moving in very quickly, which told me that they wanted to go somewhere else. It was a race between me and the bees. I had to find the queen before the bees found a place to fly off to. After a few minutes, I found her. I put her in a clip to keep her safe, but before I could put her in the new hive, I had bees swarming to her in my hand. As soon as I put the queen in the hive, the bees began to go right in. I still had some bees on my hand who weren't leaving because they could still smell their queen on me. So I shook them off so they could find her. Within minutes, the entire colony was rushing to get back into their new hive. You can see how fast they were moving and how the queen was covered in bees. I waited for all the bees to get into their hive, and it was another great day of saving the bees in my pajamas.
Now, what would happen if I took off my glove and laid it on top of the bees like that? Do you think I'd get stung?
I bet you wouldn't, as long as you don't really push on it.
I think
you should.
Can I try that?
Do it.
I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna see just how docile these bees are by placing my hand gently down on top of them. And hopefully a sting doesn't happen.
Just go ahead and lay your hand on them.
Whoa, that's a crazy feeling.
Isn't that weird?
They're all vibrating. It's actually really warm.
It is. Honeybees keep nests at 92 to 95 degrees. So, no stings.
No stings. So can we find the queen?
So if you look on the top, you'll see a lot of young nurse bees. Their nurse job is to take care of things that she just laid or hatching eggs.
Can we take a look and see if we can find her?
Let's see if we can find this queen. So what we'll do is we'll pull these frames back, and then what we'll do is we'll actually take this frame and we'll go straight up with it.
Okay.
Nice and leaving a lot of room.
Look at all those bees.
So what we're gonna do is the first thing I do is I always look right where I pull it up and I look for her, okay?
Yep.
And then I'll flip that over and I'll look on the back side here. And you're gonna look for a bee that is twice the size of a standard worker bee.
So let me ask this question real quick, since this is so cool to be able to see this. These cells, what's inside of here? Honey, or are those larvae that are behind each one of these
This
caps?
is all larvae. These are all eggs that have turned into young baby bees, and you can see like that just emerged right there.
Yeah.
That right there is what these little tiny fuzzy bees are. She just hatched out of her cell.
Baby bees, very
Baby
cute.